really built the pyramids. I feel like there was technology that was lost, either taken away or destroyed, and from a lost civilization, maybe Atlantis, and we don't have it anymore, and that's the only way to explain how they got there. Boy, and I've got another very serious question to follow that up. The amount of angles they've lined it up perfectly compared to the, what are they called? Latitude, longitude lines compared to the stars. All of the stars directly hit the tops of the pyramids, and they've been that way forever. So are we really moving through space? I'm very confused.
Just feel like we could title this episode Talking Out of Our Ass.
Or are we high?
Nope. Okay, what? Good morning.
Good morning and happy Tuesday.
And I lost track of saying weird things to freak you out.
Yeah, you did. You haven't done it in a while.
Okay, well,
Put it on the list.
Well, everybody, we thank you for listening to our first series. Did we just wrap that up?
Mm-hmm. This is our first week post mini-series of our semi-selfish summer series. Let us know what you think. I loved it. It was fun.
It was fun. Part of me loved it because I didn't have to plan anything. But I did like the continuity and I liked tying stuff together. But we're going to do more ramble jambles for August. I don't understand what day it is, let alone that it's already almost August. And then we'll be back at you with another mini-series for September. For today, we're going to go back to our roots and just have questions.
I love it.
Which is how this all began.
By the way, oh, cute mug.
My little queen mug.
Hey, turkeys, real quick, we want to tell you about our fun new free craft corner. Every quarter, in line with the equinox or solstice, we are going to send out new farts and crafts projects. You can find the link in the show notes. Just drop us your email. We promise not to spam you, but we'd love for you to join us. Now back to the show.
And so now we're just going to do a whole podcast of questions, which we've somewhat done before, right? This is like a part.
I think we have. I think we did one before where we specifically were hoping to elicit listener responses, which I would still love to have listener responses from these. But I just have questions that I feel like I've been yapping about. So this is a fun way to fling them into the universe.
And it's going to be very funny because you're going to have a certain type of question and I'm going to have a certain type of question, and it's going to be very apparent. Very apparent. I just made up a new word for the day. I think it's going to be very apparent as we go through our list about what's on my mind.
I'm really excited. Okay. Mine are not related or in any sort of rational order.
I wasn't trying to. You'll see what I mean. You want to start off?
You got into a wavelength?
Yeah, I just couldn't get out.
I really enjoy that. I also just, as a side note, would like to say that it's still summer and I'm really not happy about it because I'm ready for it to be fall. But I'm trying to wear my best summer, like, linen apparel to trick myself into believing that I'm still happy that it's hot.
It's not as hot as last year, luckily.
Speak for yourself, Texas.
Okay. Yeah, that's true.
We did have a cooler Saturday. It was in the probably high 80s instead of the high 90s.
Makes a difference.
It truly it does. I just can't believe that's my life that I can say that. Well, right off the gate, I'm sorry, but I've been asking everyone and I don't understand. And I know that I could Google it, but I would rather someone in real life tell me what is the symbolism of a death moth tattoo? And why do we get a death moth on our throats? I also really like saying death moth.
Death moth.
Yeah. But why do we get them and why are they here? Why are they exclusively on our throats?
I think it's the perfect just like symmetry of your neck and your spine and your esophagus and then the wings coming out. But it's like the goth emo version of a butterfly tattoo. It's just the moth, the death moth, right? I don't know. I'm making things up.
I don't know. I could Google it. I understand this, but I was really hoping someone would tell me their perspective. And I don't want to ask somebody who already has it on their throat, like, hey, what's up with that? Because sometimes asking a question directly like that seems as though you're asking because you think it's
Mhm.
odd. And I would never want someone to feel judged based on their tattoo that's going to be there for a while.
If someone's got the full situation, if you got a death moth tattoo on your neck, you probably have other ones. I honestly, if you're that type of person, I kind of like the tattoo situation happening. Like it looks good
Yeah,
all together. It looks like a little turtleneck, and I love it.
the two that I've seen look really nice.
Yeah.
Actually, no, it was one lady that has it and another lady that wants to get it. I should just ask her the next time we go to the Harley store, what is the death moth deal? Because the one I'm thinking of is very nice, and she would tell me. Her whole vibe is just, she looks like a tattooed pinup lady, and I just,
That's
in
fun.
another life, I wish I could have that aesthetic.
Okay, well, ask her and report back.
Yeah, I will. It'll be a while because it's too hot, but we'll get there. TBD.
Okay, this is not a part of my rabbit hole, but my first question is, does anyone know, and how do you know how much rain weight can a cloud carry? How much rain? Do you know what I'm saying? I know. See, this is where we're different. I love you so much because of our differences. How heavy can clouds get before they drop rain? Is it heavy? Is it not heavy and it's just accumulating there but no weight? When you think about a thunderstorm and all the rain it dumps, the cloud must be heavy. Do the clouds drop in the atmosphere?
Isn't it just that the little drops get so big that they can't, they are not supported anymore, and then they fall off?
But when all of a sudden it just starts downpouring. Did we reach the max limit and then they all just fell?
So fast? You're going to have to ask Boyd. I think Boyd would like to come on here and explain that to us, and he could probably take a full 45 minutes.
We'll have a cloud episode coming.
I'm really good at cloud identification.
This is geoengineering.
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with me.
Me either.
I have a thing with identifying things. That's what I realized. I can remember weird, useless identifications of stuff. Like my dog breeds.
In your cars.
Yeah. I was at somewhere the other day. Oh, I was at a massage place the other day, and this lady's dog came out, and I was like, oh, is she a Pekingese? And she stopped dead ass and looked at me, and she goes, nobody ever knows what she is. They always think she's a Shih Tzu. And I was like, I wish I could record this moment and play it for Jason, because he thinks my dog identification is insane. And I was so proud.
I love it.
Oh, here's a great question that I really sincerely want to know is who's eating at Sonic? Because I don't know if it's my YouTube TV algorithm, but they really think that I need to eat at Sonic. I've been getting a ton of marketing from them. It's basically one commercial, but it looks like a pretty expensive commercial, and I can't even believe that company makes enough money to make a commercial.
Their business model is so different. We have one here in our relatively small town compared to the city. And it's like the only thing open past 9. So I guess, well, besides Whataburger, but I guess I could see people doing it their ice cream's good. I'm not going to lie. But the food?
I haven't eaten there in over 10 years. I ate there once, I think, when we first moved down here. I don't know. It just, in a world of fast food restaurants, who's eating at Sonic?
Mm-hmm. Well, how is Long John Silver still in business?
How is Long John Silver still in business? That is and Arby's, if we're being straightforward.
That was on my list, so that's perfect. Check that off.
Okay, well, I just am curious if anybody else is getting a push for Sonic on their commercials, because I find it really odd. Anyway.
Okay. My next question is, God, if you sink in quicksand, how far do you continue to sink? Like, when does it stop? I know. You know what I'm saying?
To the core of the earth, and then you melt.
Maybe. I don't know.
Your questions are always high questions.
I know, and I'm not even high. I promise I'm not high when I make these questions. Okay.
You're not. That's why it's funny. This is for me and for everybody else, and probably for America. Why do we have so much stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Why do we have so much stuff? And why do we have so much stuff that we have, not me in this case, but why do we have storage units? Why are there so many storage units? If you're in a transition, no judgment whatsoever. Family member just passed away, get it. Trying to go through stuff. I live in a military town, so that makes a lot of sense to me with, again, transitions and people are coming and going. But who's living life with a storage unit? Your box that you live in doesn't have enough room, so then you need another box for your stuff?
That's a great question. I do know a couple people, as in one person in particular, who had like things of, I don't know, I wouldn't of value, like big Jeep parts that weren't being utilized at the moment but were worth value, or really nice luggage that they had, but then there was a fire and they lost it all. So,
Oh my God.
yeah, that would be the concerning part of that, or just robbery and stuff. But Americans have too much stuff. I think it's just our culture with consumerism and people wanting to make money by selling you stupid things, whether it's, I don't know, it's just,
I also have too much stuff, but now I want to move to a small house and sell all my stuff. The idea of getting rid of all of my stuff sounds great. I guess that's where my disconnect is. If I have the space, I'll fill it. Ergo, these shelves full of shit behind me. But tomorrow I would get rid of all of them.
Yeah. I think that's a good mindset.
I just don't understand. I don't understand storage units, I guess. But I still would argue that if you don't have room in your house and you live in an apartment, your hope, if you're normal, in my opinion, is that you would someday have a house where you would have the storage and then you would pull it out.
Yeah.
But there are so many storage units. They're going up everywhere in my town.
Mm-hmm.
And what are we doing? I understand storage lots where you park your RV and your boat, but how do we need... Every time I turn around, there's a new storage unit facility going up and there's a new gas station. And I don't know why we need 500 more Sufcos. They are building a Circle K across from a Circle K in one part of my town.
That's weird. Very weird.
Apparently, I don't know. Maybe Florida thinks that they're going to put a hiatus on building gas stations when everyone wants electric cars. And so they're just cramming them all in while they can.
True. Crazy. Even though over 50% of people apparently would go back to a gas car after buying their first electric car. I just saw that article. Okay, my next question is deja vu a memory from a past life or an alternate universe?
Is it a little hinky in the timeline?
A hinky kinky?
Yeah, I didn't want to say the word kink because it grosses me out now.
Oh, I just said it.
Okay. When you do a little whoop.
Dude, deja vu is so weird though.
I swear that my deja vus are real.
I know, me too. That's why it's like, no, I've literally been here before. So it's like, have I been here 10 years ago in a different, like, it doesn't feel like it just happened yesterday, but it feels like, wow, at some point within the last decade, I've had this exact moment, which makes no sense because I haven't been in the house this long. And there's things that, that can't be. So is there another timeline where I'm ahead and I've already been in that circumstance? It's so weird.
I can't. I'm sorry. I mentally glitched because it freaks me out. Excuse me. Okay. I have another one that's for me and everybody else, which is, where does all of my money go?
No, a government.
Why is it just gone? It's just gone.
Because I hate everything. I know. Mm-hmm.
I won't even look at my check before taxes and deductions because I don't want to know about it. And I'm an employee, so it's not even that bad for me. But Jason and I were sitting down and we were chatting about this the other day, and it's just, I know that everybody is under the squeeze, and I also know that we are very fortunate that I'm not having to choose between filling up my gas tank and feeding myself. So I would like to caveat that I'm grateful, but I also sometimes feel like, where does my money go? Where is it? Which is also kind of a shameless plug for our next series when we're going to do our Adulting 101 mini-series, and Kayla's going to give us a budgeting tool, and I'm really excited to make myself sit down and actually watch where my money is going, because I have a feeling there's a lot of flim-flam going around that I'm not really recognizing. Mm-hmm. Because when you're not paying cash, it just feels fake.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah, swipey. But sometimes when I have cash, it feels like free money because it's already not in my bank account.
I know.
So it's sort of not good either way.
Girl math. Yeah, it's bad. Free money or fake money, it's fine.
Yeah. I mean, it's already gone, so I can spend it on whatever I want.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that is a stressful question. Yeah, the budget will be good. I'm excited for that. Okay, my next one. This is really interesting. I'm very curious. I want your feedback. Again, here we go. What would happen if everyone on the earth jumped into the ocean at the same time. I know. But legitimately, when you think about it, it's kind of crazy. Would the sea levels rise and flood everything? That's a lot of people.
You never disappoint me, ever. We're going to continue to do these question ones quarterly just so that I can keep hearing these. I've never thought of that I never would have thought of that in my entire life.
Is that not crazy to think about, though?
If somebody is good at something, they could do a math equation, right? With displacement and something.
Somebody. Ooh, yeah.
Do you think that it would flood? Do you think that if everybody jumped in the ocean, that New Orleans would be no longer?
Probably. Now, the logistics of getting everyone in the ocean at the same time, all the borders would be like too full. But
do we even have room
in the ocean? Yeah,
the
oceans. No, but if somehow we were like picked up and transported into the ocean, just dropped, there would be plenty of room in the ocean because there's more ocean than land, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but
I was just
the borders
thinking of how
would
crowded Florida would get. Single file.
Just crazy to think about. Okay, or no. Would we all just float? Would it not make a difference? Or would we, when you drop something in a cup and the water rises, be confused? Because it's salt. Most of the salt? Okay, y'all, I'll stop. We'll move on. Go for it.
God, that was great. Oh, I love when we do these. It's just the best. Okay, I have a backstory to this question, and I'm sorry, but recently Jason was out of town, and so my mom and my aunt and I will do this thing where we didn't invent it, but we'll all turn on a Netflix movie at the same time from our respective houses and distance watch it together. Right?
A random movie?
Well, we'll pick a movie.
Oh,
and then we'll all watch the same movie.
Russian roulette, like, all right, everyone pick a movie. Do we land on the same one?
Oh my God, no. That would be entertaining. But we do it because nobody wants to drive home anymore. And so if you want to just have a glass of wine and then not have to drive or think about any of that, anyway. So my mom and I literally had dinner together and then went home, and then we three-way called each other and said, 1, 2, 3, start the movie.
Well, that's cute.
So my mom loves romantic comedy / romance movies, and I hate them. So I was being a turd, and I knew that my mom and my aunt had both read the 50 Shades books, or book, at least one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I've read 0 of them. And the 50 Shades movie just came out on Netflix. So I thought, how funny would it be to distance watch this? Because it'll be so uncomfortable. I can't believe they agreed to it. As soon as we turned it on, I had so many regrets. But my question is, does anybody actually like that movie? Because it was horrible. It was so weird. I think it was the pace. It was too fast. He seemed really creepy. Everything was a weird innuendo. She went to interview him, and he asked her what she was studying, and she said literature. So I texted my mom and my aunt, and I was like, do you mean literature? I was being a top tier asshole to them. It was funny because I've read 0, my mom has read 1, and my aunt has read all 3. So we had the full spectrum, and I can tell you that none of 3 of us liked it.
Interesting. I have not read the
books. I think there's a nuance that you can do that they failed to do in the movie. It basically seemed like he was a psychomaniac, and that their relationship developed over the course of 3 days, and they left each other immediately. And he seemed really creepy, and she was a student. It felt, honestly, it felt like a true crime intro instead of a romance. Anyway, so my question is, does anybody like the books or the movies? And I feel as though if you like the movies, that's only, because of book nostalgia. And half of this is also just me trying to explain how awkward it was for me to make my family members watch that movie while we were watching it, because it was so weird. It was really weird.
I don't want to.
Oh, it was so sexual, and it was really bad lighting. It felt like cheap porn lighting. Whereas, shout out to Bridgerton, because they have some steamy scenes in there, but they do a really good job with the lighting is soft and the music and there's shadows and there's nuance. This was just very stark and raw, and just boobs, and I don't know, dude. It was really weird. It made me so uncomfortable, and I do not think I'm a prude, but I also can't believe they fell for my tricks, because I really just wanted to have something to laugh at and be uncomfortable instead of having to watch a romance.
Bro, interesting. I will not be seeing that movie, nor have I read the book, so
Don't recommend it.
good warning to the folks. Okay, this is a very serious question. We've touched on this before, but I'm bringing it back around. Is my color red the same as your color red?
This is my favorite question from our high school days.
I know. Okay.
I think I said this in art class once, and somebody told me that they weren't high enough for this conversation.
I feel like I vaguely
begs the
remember.
question, were they high a little? Probably. I was probably the only sober person in my art class.
Yeah, probably. Well, besides me when I took it, but we didn't take it at the same time. Okay. Anyway, if you see something that's blue and I was told it was red, like, you know what I'm saying? You get told this is red, but maybe my colors, my eyeballs, maybe it's even just a touch of a difference. Maybe it's actually pink for me. Am I just going around calling pink red and my pink is a different color? It's just.
Yeah. I know if somebody came into your eyeballs, would the whole world look different?
I don't know.
The only people that I definitively know don't see red the same as me are people that are colorblind.
That makes sense.
They can't see anything.
But like, if people are colorblind, can people have other eye distortions that aren't classified as colorblindness, but make people see colors differently?
I don't know. But the colorblind thing is you can't differentiate and you can't see stuff. The little colorblind test where there's dots.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I feel safe that they at least have a problem. But anyway, I don't know. This has been my question. Is my sky purple to you?
Well, I just want to know. I wonder, here's my follow-up question to that. When we die, depending on where we go and what you believe in, I know it won't matter because everyone's like, the glory of God will be so nice, you won't care. But I just want to sit down in heaven with a big book of truths and get all my questions answered from the life that I've lived here. I have so many questions. I just want to know. Anyway.
Not even just this life. You've got some Atlantis questions that you need answered. Oh, this is my favorite thing that we do. I have another one for you. Why is Shrek back? Have you noticed this?
I don't like it. I think they're trying to be nostalgic. And
they've been hitting the nostalgia marketing hard. It feels for the last 2 to 3 years. This feels like the longest marketing trend I've ever had to sit through. But why is Shrek back? Shrek was trending in the Netflix movies.
Is it just because there's a lot of millennials on Netflix? I don't know.
I have no idea, but I literally was scrolling, because I'm bored. So what movie I'm not going to watch Shrek. Who's watching Shrek? I guess all of the millennial parents have kids and they said, hey, let's watch Shrek because I liked it when I was a kid.
Is it a new movie or is it the original movie coming back? No,
it's the original movie. And then there's some Shrek theater production that's going to be at my local theater. Who's seeing Shrek live?
See, Shrek is not a classic enough one like, say, Jurassic Park, where they have like events and things for Jurassic Park. That's a classic movie, I feel, as though people could argue that Shrek is classic, but I disagree.
It was a fun movie. I really liked it when it came out, but it's just weird. It's just all of a sudden there's Shrek shit everywhere. And who decided we needed Shrek back? It feels like a concerted effort to bring him back.
Did you know that there's like Shrek conventions where people dress up as Lord, what's his face?
Farquaad?
And like they have competitions on who looks like him the most. They do ogre yelling competitions. I mean, it's a whole thing.
I mean, I really liked that they said something about people being an onion and you have to keep peeling back the layers. I am not trying to shit on the movie, but I just sometimes feel like someone in the high up fancy sphere makes these decisions of this is going to come back now, and they push it out on all of the platforms.
Mm-hmm.
And why did we pick Shrek?
I don't know. It's like what they did.
Go back and watch it
with milk when they said that a whole ad campaign. Okay,
I've recently learned they did that with sodium
and sugar
because apparently sodium and high blood pressure is fake news unless you have kidney problems.
And I can't believe it's not butter. Oh. And the food pyramid. Oh, don't get me started. Okay.
I know.
Okay. Moving on. Here's a very serious question. Again, this is very legit. Okay. Sorry, Boyd. I'm questioning the evolution theory. If we evolve from monkeys or apes or whatever the terminology is, why are there still monkeys.
Yeah, that's
Do you know
I've wondered that.
if we've transformed into, what are they called? What are we called?
Neanderthals?
Well,
Oh,
yeah,
humans?
yeah.
Homo sapiens?
Thank you. Um,
This is like a fun game of catchphrase.
but seriously, if we've evolved and say like, oh, this animal got a opposable thumb, and some didn't, and they just stay that way, like, how are there monkeys and humans if we evolve from monkeys?
How are there so many monkeys? I don't know.
That
You know,
makes
I really, this is another soapbox of mine. We don't need to go down it, but I remember when I was in school because I went to a Christian school and it was evolution versus creation. And I thought to myself, obviously evolution exists because things evolve.
right.
Obviously. But maybe it's more complicated than that. But the second you said that, people were just, oh, science. And then, but same with the creation thing. I'm like, I don't really know that we can just, the world's older than 2,000 years. So this narrative that I was getting in Bible schools also not jiving with me.
Be confused about everything because both sides I've got questions on. But that posed a question for me. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. I agree. You can evolve, you know, our hunchback and our head divots for humans because we sit like this all day. But did I actually come from a monkey? Like, I don't know.
Maybe we came from aliens. And then maybe the aliens had sex with the monkeys. And then that's how the hairless aliens became hairy humans.
Well, I'm not going to start on this. We're going to
Put that
save.
in your textbook.
I know it's only summer and it's only August, but there's a cryptid episode that we're going to do in October for Halloween. And that just jived my memory on all the things that I want to talk about with you.
I'm really excited because I don't even know what the word cryptid means. I just feel like we could title this episode Talking Out of Our Ass.
Or are we high?
Nope. Okay, what? No. Okay, this is another serious one. Does anybody like this season of House of Dragons? Does anybody like it? Do any of us really know what's going on? Again, or are we watching it? Are we still watching it because we like it? Or are we just watching it because HBO is pushing it out on every single commercial for everything all the time, constantly? And they're just trying to make it work because now they have to.
What's the other series that people freak the fuck out about? It's not House of Dragons. It's medieval something.
Game of Thrones?
That's everything that I've been seeing on Instagram. I thought it's been Game of Thrones this whole time. You're telling me it's House of Dragons?
Okay, so this is my thing again. I think there's a concerted effort because I think that HBO made House of Dragons and they decided that it was actually kind of garbagey. So they're trying to drum up Game of Thrones nostalgia, and the only thing that you have to watch if you want to have Game of Thrones nostalgia is House of Dragons because it's a prequel.
Okay, so they are related.
They're related. And let me just
idea.
tell you, I love some nerd shit. I read all the Game of Thrones books. I went and read every spin-off book. I went and read the book of an encyclopedia that explained who all of the people were and their origin stories. I went on a deep dive.
I love
this shit. But I can't tell you. I don't know anybody's names in the show. I don't understand what's going on. I don't know why they're related. I keep watching it. Every episode that I watch, I wonder, why am I watching this? And then somehow I keep turning it back on. But every time I watch anything else, the advertisement is for House of Dragons. Even when I'm watching House of Dragons, they're advertising for House of Dragons. When I'm watching other shows, they're advertising for House of Dragons. And then when I'm watching other shows, they're advertising for a new iPhone game that's Game of Thrones, which is still just pushing you back to wanting to watch House of Dragons.
That seems very
So my
excessive.
question is, do any of us actually like it? Or are we just being corralled into this shoot? Because I think it's the latter.
I've never watched it, so I'm not on the shoot with you, but that's a very interesting question.
I mean, they're all blonde-headed people. They all look related. They're all having sex with each other, so that you can't determine if they're brother and sister because that means nothing. And their names are like Aemon, Daemon, Aemond, Rhaenyra, Schmeagol. I don't know, but they're all the same word. It's so confused.
Nope, too much. Okay. I've got a couple questions, but this is the best one out of all of them. Do you see the pattern of my questions?
Yeah. And I can't imagine anything being better than the last 5 I've listened to.
Well, we've maybe talked about this before, so this may not be as exciting, but who really built the pyramids? My specific question is, do you think ancient aliens built the pyramids? I feel like there was technology that was lost, either taken away or destroyed, and from a lost civilization, maybe Atlantis, and we don't have it anymore, and that's the only way to explain how they got there. I don't buy the stories. I'm sorry.
It doesn't make sense because someone made it sound like we couldn't even build them today with modern technology, and that's what really fumbles my mind.
Boy, and I've got another very serious question to follow that up in our Poddle series this Saturday. Join us on YouTube for our Poddle series. It's a very, very important question that goes off of that, but I'll save it. The amount of angles they've lined it up perfectly compared to what are they called? Latitude, longitude lines compared to the stars. All of the stars directly hit the tops of the pyramids, and they've been that way forever. So are we really moving through space? I'm very confused.
I don't have any answers or even any responses. I'm just delighted. I'm delighted by your questions. I would have never thought of them. And then the fervor with which you discuss them is on par with a Sunday preacher. And it makes me so happy in my heart.
Gosh.
I'd also like to know. I don't think that if there's a God in the traditional white beard sense, I don't know that he'll let you in heaven because he's going to have to spend eternity dealing with your questions.
No, because he's God and he'll just snap his finger and I'll just download everything real quick. And then I can sift through it in my own time. I don't want to bug him.
Still think there's going to be a follow-up. Okay, I'm going to just bring this out really fast. These are, well, I want you to answer these last two. Number one, are you a lyric person or a music person? Because I think that I know what you are, but I think that there are two different people. I'm married to a music person.
And you would be married to another music person if we were in a different life and we were not friends and we were married. Because, by the way, we're not lesbians, everyone. But I'm totally a music person. I will listen to a song and I'll be like, Kenny, this song's so cool. And he's like, are you listening to what they're saying? It's awful. Like, you like this? I'm like, and then I listen to it. I'm like, shit, that's pretty bad. I was just
So are you married
beat.
to a lyric person?
Yep.
Oh, that's so interesting. Maybe that's how we're meant to be paired. There are some songs where I can tune out the lyrics by choice and hear the beat and enjoy it, because there are some where I'm like, this is so bad. But I still think by default I'm gathering the lyrics.
I'm 1000% seeing the music in my head and all the different layers. It's purely musicality to me when I listen to music.
I love that so much. Next, are you a left or a right side of the bed?
Oh, I'm a left. Like, if you're in the bed, I'm left.
Okay, if you're facing the bed, you sleep on the right. I think most people have an opinion about this. I could literally care less. I could sleep on a different side of the bed every night and be fine.
Okay. When we go to hotels, it normally ends up where I'm on the left side, but there's been a few times where I'm on the right, and I don't have a problem with it. It doesn't feel weird. But if we were to just switch, like in our house, I don't like the feeling.
I just sleep. I sleep on the same side as you, only because Jason was on the other side where his phone plugged in. I mean, he just gravitated and I just inserted myself basically. But I think almost every time we go to a hotel, I just throw my stuff down. So maybe naturally I would sleep on the other side, and he'll constantly ask me, what are you doing? That's my side of the bed. And I
interesting.
always tell him I don't even think about it. I just arrive where I arrive and plug in my phone, and then that's where I'm sleeping.
That's interesting.
I think most people have big feelings about it. That's why I'm curious. But yeah. My last one for the audience, just because I want feedback, is please can you guys write in and tell us ghost stories?
Yes.
My friend Erin recently came and she told me a bunch of her encounters, and I want to have her on just to tell us her encounters because they were so interesting and fascinating. And what I love about it is she is one of the most logical black and white people I've ever met. And you would not expect her to be a ghost story girly, but she has them. And they're not weird. They're not like crazy, but they're just odd enough. And she was telling them to me, and it made my life so excited and happy. And I just want people to tell me ghost stories.
I would love to hear those, please.
That's all I have. Do you have any more questions?
Yeah. What's the best one, just to wrap this up, because I know we're running out of time. My last one is, if you could survive a black hole and not get torn to shreds, where would it lead to? Where would you?
Probably to the place where you're living the life that your deja vu came from.
I think so. Are black holes portals?
No,
I don't know.
We should ask Rick and Morty.
I'd like a portal gun. That'd be crazy.
Oh my god. I think that's why you like that show.
Mm-hmm. It
I
is.
mean, I like it too, but I think there's something about your brain and your wonderings and what's happening.
And I think they are showing the truth. I'm just kidding. I don't think it's that weird. Hopefully not, God.
Well, we are gonna queue up
Not
our.
too fast, we won't go slow. Just a guide and let it go. It's just the tip. We won't be mean, we won't be long. A little info goes real far with just the tip.
And
Bring
that
it home.
beats me too. Okay, so if you like all my weird questions and all my cryptid things and Mothman, I didn't say Mothman, but you said a death moth, and I'm making it a Mothman. So there's a podcast that you should only listen to after you are all caught up with our episodes. But if you like cryptid and ghost stories and like Bigfoot stories, it's my jam. It's called The Confessionals. I'm a big fan of his work. It's super fun episodes. They're literally all over the place. They talk about portals, ghosts, Mothman, skinwalkers. I mean, they've got everything. A little teaser for October episode, but it's real fun if you like those episodes or those topics. So it's called The Confessionals.
The Confessionals?
Mhm.
I'm not going to listen to it until after our October episode because I want to be fully amazed by your information. Or is it scary?
It can be. Because it gets your brain going, and then I drive home on the back roads and I'm like, I'm gonna fucking see frickin' a cryptid come out of the bushes. And I'm gonna freak out and pee my pants.
I'm scared. Okay, well, that was a great teaser for October, and I don't know, man. I love you. Bye.
Love you, bye. I crack myself up.
God, every time.